$503 million. Damn, that's a lot of cheese curds. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Before he's 25 years old, Patrick Mahomes just signed a contract for $500 million, and yet I'm here in my basement. But I bet I have more Packers hats than he does. Grossi. And yes, Patrick Mahomes has signed a 10-year extension on top of the 2 years that was already remaining in his rookie contract, meaning that he is going to be a Kansas City Chief for the next 12 years. I don't even know if I'm going to have hair in 12 years. Now, there's a lot that still needs to be broken down about this contract, and I was waiting to see what kind of information would trickle out. We obviously had Adam Schefter come out and first report some numbers and figures. Originally, it was just a $450 million extension for that 10 years. But then you had Ian Rappaport come out and go, oh, nay, it's $503 million. Now, this includes $477 million in what is guarantee mechanisms. Yeah, so strap in, because I'm going to try to explain what the hell that is, because that's pretty new lingo for NFL contracts. Because originally, when the first deal came out, I was like, holy crap, this is a great deal for the Chiefs. Because yes, while you look at $450 million, you're like, that's a lot of money. Think about what the QB market is going to be like in 5 to 6 years. I would not be surprised that within 5 to 6 years, you will see a QB beat Patrick Mahomes' yearly salary. And you look at that just because the rising cap, right, and the QB salary bubble has just been expanding. The fact that Mahomes was locked in for 12 years and not able to change that contract, I was like, oh man, the Chiefs, they basically just hit a home run with this contract. Pennies might be tight for like a little bit, but they were going to be good. Now, with this new information coming out about the guarantee mechanisms, it seems that there's going to be rolling guarantees every single year. So some of the ones that have come out already, and this just came out from Tom Pelissero. So this is what it looks like from 2020 to the 2031 season. So he gets a $10 million signing bonus. And on top of that, he's going to get roster bonuses ranging from $21 million in 2021 all the way up to $49.4 million in 2027. Now, from 2022 to 2031, he's also going to have $2.5 million in incentives. So $1.25 million is going to be awarded if he wins the AFC Championship game, and $1.25 if he wins the NFL MVP. He's going to get $140 million guaranteed in case he is injured, so that's a nice thing to put in your pocket. So with these guaranteed mechanisms, it's basically saying, okay, Patrick Mahomes is going to be guaranteed this amount of money every single season. If he is not, if the Chiefs are like, nah, we're not going to do it, then Mahomes gets to opt out and the contract is void. So this is actually giving Mahomes a good amount of leverage, and this is also giving the Chiefs a lot of insurance, because just in case he starts to decline in his play, what have you, they are able to get out of the deal as well. Now, there is a no trade clause in the contract as well, meaning that Patrick Mahomes can veto any trades that would come in. So if, let's just say, the Chiefs were like, hey, Bears, you want Patrick Mahomes now? And he's like, no, I don't want to go to the Bears. I don't want to. He can actually shut that trade down. So this seems to be a contract that's kind of just working for both sides. And while you look at 12 years as being a really, really long time, it's kind of better just to kind of look at this from a year-to-year basis, because at any point, it seems that Mahomes can pull out if these guarantees are not met. So as was mentioned, though, this is not just the biggest contract in NFL history. This is the biggest contract in sports history. He just beat out Mike Trout from the Angels, who signed a $426.5 million deal. So, that's nice. And this is the first time in history that an NFL player has had the highest contract in the world. So this is surpassing Russell Wilson's contract that he signed in 2019, which was a 4-year extension for $87.6 million. And it does start to ask some questions about what's going to happen with Dak Prescott and what's going to happen with guys like Deshaun Watson. Now, for Patrick Mahomes, he is going to be on the team if he stays their entire time through the 2031 season, and he will be 36 years old as he turns 25 in September this year. There were also a lot of rumors that this was going to be tied to the salary cap, that his salary was going to be dependent on a certain percentage of the salary cap. So let's just say, 10, 20% of it, and it was just going to fluctuate throughout the years. That seems to not be the case here based off of the information that has come out already. And as I mentioned earlier, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers a few years ago when his contract was being negotiated, that every single year it was going to be negotiated that he was the highest paid QB in the NFL. That doesn't seem to be the case either. However, considering there's these guaranteed mechanisms, it's going to almost ensure that for a good while, Patrick Mahomes is going to be paid a crap ton of money and be near the top of the QB salary pool. Also, fun fact, he is now signed 5 years longer than any current player under contract in the NFL. And one of the big questions that has to be asked is, okay, how is this going to impact the Chiefs' salary cap? And on top of that, how is that going to impact their ability to bring in free agents and re-sign guys? If you look at the Chiefs for this season's not going to be a problem. They have 20 out of their 22 starters returning from last year's season. So this year, we're okay. But looking ahead, you look at guys like Tyreek Hill, who are signed through the 2022 season, Travis Kelce's through the 2021 season, Frank Clark is the 2023 season, and Chris Jones just got franchise tagged. You would think that they're going to try and work out a long-term deal. Because here's the problem, and this is what's happened with Aaron Rodgers as well, is that Aaron Rodgers won his Super Bowl on his rookie deal, got a mega contract, got another mega contract, and then that was it. But that limited what the Packers could do in free agency, at least somewhat. Now with the Chiefs, there is going to be some budgeting that's going to have to be done here. If he's going to stay for this entire tenure, the fact that he's going to be getting paid like $45 to $50 million a year is obviously going to impact the cap pretty heavily. So in the short term, it seems like the Chiefs are going to be able to play around with the salary cap. As things progress with this deal, especially when you get into years like 2026, when the guy is given almost $50 million just for being on the roster, that's when, things are gonna get super tight. And that's when they're gonna have to start relying on the draft more and just signing these guys for 4 years, keeping them for their rookie deals, and seeing the majority of them go. You've seen this many, many times. You saw this happen in Green Bay, in which they basically just stuck with the draft and that's it. And Kansas City's gonna have to go through that as well. So if they're gonna be able to grow their own homegrown talent, they'll be just fine. But within the next few years, Kansas City is still going to be incredibly competitive for at least the next 2 to 3 years, and they have locked in Patrick Mahomes to a long-term deal, which gives both sides a lot of flexibility when it comes to how long they want to continue their relationship. And it makes sense. The guy is a Super Bowl MVP, has won the NFL MVP, and is a 2-time Pro Bowler and an All-Pro. And he's just been in the league for a couple years. And Mahomes is definitely getting paid. By March of next year, he's going to have $106 million guaranteed of this contract. So those are the details that are out right this second. Let me know what you think down in the comments below about this mega deal. Do you think it's good for Mahomes? Do you think it's good for the Chiefs? And I'm so sorry, AFC West, for what's about to happen to you. Let me know. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media, see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course, YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.